Good morning. My name is Darlene Cooper. I'm the president of the Black Loyalist Heritage Society. Today we begin our program. Let us acknowledge that the Black Loyalist Heritage Center is located on unceded ancestral lands of the Mi'kmaq people. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which the Mi'kmaq and Maliseet people first signed with the British Crown in 1725. By the time our ancestors arrived, this land had already been inhabited by the Mi'kmaq people for thousands of years. We are thankful for the knowledge passed on to the Black Loyalist, which proved to be an invaluable tool to their survival here in Nova Scotia. I'd like to request at this time that we stand for the singing of O Canada. Thank you. Please have a seat. I now invite Warden Penny Smith from the Municipal District of Shelburne to offer welcoming remarks.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Black Loyalist Heritage Center as we come together to recognize the month of February as African Heritage Month and to celebrate the culture, legacy, achievements, and contributions of people of African descent. Shelburne County has been coming together at the center since its opening almost 7 years ago, proclaiming African Heritage Month and to encourage our communities to become educated on and understand the story of Nova Scotia's vibrant African Nova Scotian community. We all know that storytelling can be a force of social change, and it can educate and influence people's behavior and change our future for the better. This is something the center does exceptionally well, and it continues to tell the story that needs to be told. We are happy that you have joined us this morning as we celebrate the long-standing history of people of African descent and urge the engagement of tough conversations that allow us to understand the truths of our shared history. I hope we will all take time to reflect on the true meaning of African Heritage Month and participate in the activities and celebrations planned throughout February. I will close with a well-known quote from the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which in these current times is a good reminder for us all. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
Thank you, Warden Smith, and thank you to all our local dignitaries coming today. Mayor Harold Locke from the Town of Shelburne, Councillors Dale Esterby and Kent Ballish from Lockeport, Councillor Jody Crook from the Municipal District of Barrington, and Deputy Mayor Judy Quinlan from the Town of Harbour. People of African descent have been living in Nova Scotia for over 400 years. Some were enslaved and forcibly brought here. Others came as indentured servants, and some arrived free. The first major migration of free blacks to Nova Scotia came in 1783 with the Loyalists. These black Loyalists have fought under the British flag in the American Revolution with the promise of freedom. When they arrived in Nova Scotia, they established many communities we will recognize here today, including here in Birchtown, which at one point was the largest free black settlement in North America. Jamaican Maroons were the next group to arrive. They had fought against their enslavement in Jamaica before being shipped to Halifax. Although many followed the migration of the black Loyalists to Sierra Leone, there are still Nova Scotians who can trace their ancestry to the Maroons. And their legacy stands at Citadel Hill, which they've helped to rebuild during their time. Although these are many of the historical migrations, we cannot overlook the contributions of many other people of African descent who came and are coming to our province to live. These varied groups of African Nova Scotians have all contributed to the culture and historic mosaic of Nova Scotia for centuries. And despite this, it is not until 1988 that the first official Black History Month was held in Nova Scotia. And around the same time, here in Shelburne, a group formed the Shelburne County Cultural Awareness Society. This group of community members recognized a gap in our history. Young Black Loyalist descendants in our area and across the province did not know the rich history of their ancestors. The society worked diligently to collect and share. I've lost my page. Sorry. History, protect important landmarks, and build the foundation that became the Black Loyalist Heritage Society. And today, over 30 years later, we stand proudly in the Black Heritage Center to acknowledge and to celebrate the history and contributions of the African Nova Scotians who came before us. While we can stand to be proud of the progress and accomplishments we've made as a community, it is a road that we are still traveling today. Today, there are still African Nova Scotians and other minorities who face discrimination and injustice. These are the communities across our province and country without access to safe drinking water. There are important stories and histories that are not yet taught. So, it is appropriate that this year's theme for African Heritage Month is Through Our Eyes. The Voices of African Nova Scotians. It recognizes the legacy of people of African descent, first through voice, lived realities, and experiences. It has also encouraged us all to listen to the perspective and the views of marginalized communities to shape a better understanding of our collective past, present, and forge ahead towards a better future. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite our dignitaries to the podium to read the African Heritage Month proclamations.
Whereas February is recognized internationally as African Heritage Month, a time that all Nova Scotians are encouraged to embrace, recognize, and salute the many contributions and ongoing achievements of people of African descent all over the world and here in Shelburne County, and we celebrate a time of better understanding.
Whereas we are in the 8th year of the International Decade for the People of the African Descent, together we acknowledge and understand that when we listen to others' perspectives, interpretation, and views on the world, particularly those from marginalized communities, we will gain a more meaningful understanding on how to make our world a better place.
Whereas this year's theme, Through Our Eyes, the Voices of African Nova Scotians, explores and examines the effects of anti-Black racism and honors the voices of African Nova Scotians who blazed the trail for change.
Therefore, be it resolved that we do hereby proclaim the month of February to be African Heritage Month.
We celebrate the long-standing history of people of African descent in the development of Canada.
We encourage residents, businesses, and community groups to engage in the activities and celebrations and to take the opportunity to educate yourselves, reflect on the story of Nova Scotia's vibrant African Nova Scotia community.
Thank you all. I'd like to have Mayor Locke come here to help me unveil our poster for this year. Through Our Eyes. Thank you. And before we conclude our event today, we'd like to acknowledge the work of the African Nova Scotia Information Network, the group responsible for selecting the theme and designing the poster each year for Provincial African Nova Scotia. They did a wonderful job. Please join us now for some coffee and conversation. Thank you.